Brownsville in the building, but I want to get straight to this episode, man.
I mean, why not? Why not? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I don't really like the feeling here, but I want to get straight to it. But G Money,
yo,
episode 151.
Nigga, we made it.
We got a special guest.
Oh man,
let's go, champ. Let's go. Yo, I watched his highlights. He was ill, son.
He was wilding.
I was watching him.
He was wilding.
So he hit some guy in the yellow shorts. He was doing.
He had people twisting and turning, fall out of the ring.
Huh?
You know what I'm saying?
Huh? I'm gonna get at you though, champ.
Let's go, champ.
Let's go, champ. Shannon Briggs in the building. Round of applause one more time.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for having me, guys. Having me, brothers.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys.
And we got my man OG Nuke in the building. Brownsville. What's up, man?
How you doing, Flip?
Talking to Mike. You know how to do, man. Don't look.
How you doing, Flip?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Good to see you.
What up? What up?
Good to see you.
Yes,
welcome.
brother.
How you feel, man?
I feel really good, man. Happy to be here, champ. I'm home back in New York City, my birthplace. You know, I'm here with the OG, of course. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Brownsville in the building. I'm just happy to be here, champ. Every time I come home, it's like, you know what I mean? You get that resurgence. You know what I mean?
What happened to the gold locks?
Oh man, you know what I mean? They had their time. I had the hair for like 28 years. I woke up one day after a crazy night and just was like, you know what, that's it. And went bald on them, champ. You know what I mean? They knew.
And you know what they say, like, who cut their hair in the Bible? It got.
Oh, Samson, right?
Yeah, Samson, yeah.
Nah, it was crazy because when I cut my hair is when I started the whole Let's Go Champ slogan and campaign and the mantra. And it was literally because of that. I cut my hair off and I started saying, let's go, champ. You feel me? Let's go, champ.
So let me ask you a question real quick.
Yes, brother.
Before we get into how you know this psycho guy, man?
Oh,
because he's been down for a long time,
let's
man.
go, champ.
Even though he's positive now, but
yeah, he the best. He the champ. We from the same neighborhood, Brownsville, Brooklyn, Ocean Hill, up the hill, and all that. And I was a young boy living in the hood, Brownsville, and he was one of the dudes, the older dudes that was, in the streets getting it and doing his thing. And I was looking up like, wow, you know what I mean? I want to be like that. You know what I'm saying? And Nuke was walking around with the cables on. He was diesel, you know what I mean? And he had the scooter, the Honda. You had the Honda scooter back in the day, right? Mad cars. So he was one of the dudes that.
Don't be hyping him on like that. Look.
Nah, he was doing it. He was big time. He had the whips, the gold. So, you know what I mean? And then it was crazy because I started boxing, and then we used to go like, it was a dude from Gleason's gym, Mr. Jackson, and he used to he was actually like a
Sergeant Jackson.
Yeah, Sergeant Jackson. He worked in the prisons, and he used to bring all the amateurs and people up to Sing Sing to box with the prisoners. And on one of the trips, I seen Nuke in it, and I was like, oh snap, Nuke, what up? I'm from around the way. He was like, oh yeah, shorty, what up? I was like, wow, it was crazy because and I always tell him this, and how long you was down? 33?
31.
31 years is crazy. What year was that when I seen you? Like 90?
That was 90, the beginning of 90.
It was beginning of 90, 89,
summer
90. Yeah, something like that, right?
No, matter of fact, it was the summer of 89.
Yeah, it had to be 89, right?
Yeah, summer 89.
And I seen him, and it was crazy because it was life-changing for me. Because when I seen him, I was like, wow, you know what I mean? I just seen the whole prison. Gave us a whole tour, seen the dorms, you know what I mean? The fighters, all that. And I was like, wow, you know what I mean? So throughout the years, when I would get into trouble or I would think, before I got into trouble, I'd be like, yo, this ain't what you want. You feel me? Because I seen it already. And then I seen him, and I remember talking to him when I seen him in the hood. So it was crazy because he's from Prospect Plaza. My family from the plaza, you know what I mean? So my cousin Stink, they grew up, my cousin Stink was under him. And Stink wound up doing 18?
Yep.
He wound up doing 18. So over the years, I would be like, yo, what's up with Nuke? When I did talk to him, whatever, especially when he came home, I was like, yo, I wonder what happened to Nuke. He was like, Nuke home? I was like, this crazy. Nuke got 150 years. He was like, nah, you bugging, Nuke home. Because I really thought he had 70. I think that's what you told me. I remember something crazy, man. Word is born. I remember something crazy. But for some reason, I recall crazy life sentences. And I was like, word? So I was happy to hear that. So I reached out, my cousin Stink, Eddie Harley, he put us in touch. And, you know what I mean? We've been building this, you know what I mean?
What you remember about him back in the days? Like you recall him when he was younger like that?
This was a young brother running around. With the rest of the young brothers. Excuse me.
Did you see him being the heavyweight champ that he is today, or did you just
I'm gonna say this, right? when he came up to Sing Sing was him. Who's the brother that beat Mark? Marlon Starling?
Yeah.
He came with y'all, right?
I think so, yo.
And the big white dude that looked like Tommy Morrison. So I'm bragging because he from the Hill. Like, you know, I was dude named Red, and he was fighting in the trial, the big Cuban dude.
Yeah.
And Lord, I lost all my money. I lost mad cigarettes, mad money on that fight. But as he followed his career, you seen it. But more I was inspired by him making the move to Hollywood. You know, the movies and shit. I'm like, yo, that's my little man. You know, like that. But, you know, to become 2-time heavyweight champ from Brownsville, that's the 3rd champion from Brownsville.
Facts. Heavyweight, 3rd heavyweight.
No, it's nobody ever did that. But Brownsville did it.
What is it about Brownsville that breeds these champions like this, man? Like what's in the water? What's in the air, man?
The real ones. I mean,
We had to fight to come from go to school, to come
Everybody
from school.
can fight.
And that's what it was about. Fighting, proving yourself. No guns like today. It was fight, then you hug and you just you know, that's what's going today. Nobody know how to fight no more.
Keep it real. In Brownsville, everybody can fight. The girls, everybody fight. You know what I mean? It's like we slap box. You know what I mean? It's on like that. But you know,
that was a rites of passage.
Yeah, pretty much. You know what I mean? And I like, it was crazy because when you get locked up and you go upstate or whatever, you see mad people from Brownsville. It's like, man, we dominate the jail. You know what I mean? So I think it's time now, and that's what major reason why I'm in New York right now. Is that we're here looking for property to open up the Brownsville Boxing Academy. We want to, we've come to the realization that over $500 million, if not $1 billion or more, has been generated just from Brownsville alone in the boxing industry. If you look at it, Mike Tyson, what he probably made, 300-400. Riddick Bowe probably made 100 and change. I ain't do nothing like that. But you got Zab Judah, Danny Jacobs, Curtis Stevens. Combined, we probably put $500 million into the sport, and we don't even have a gym in the Ville. So I think that obviously there is something in the water, and it's just we should take pride in that. I mean, you got 3 heavyweight champions and many more. Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. We take pride in that. So what we're gonna do is open up the Brownsville Boxing Academy.
First champ. Besides, in the early '60s, it was a Jewish guy out of Brownsville.
Okay.
But Eddie Mustafa, which was Eddie Gregory back then, come out of Brownsville housing.
Yeah.
You know, him and World B. Free was our big, and World was a basketball player. They was our biggest, you know, growing up in Brownsville.
Well, Thelma from there too.
Yeah.
Thelma.
From
from
sports,
Good
right?
Times, yeah.
You know,
So
we had the Sean Dunston. He went to Thomas Jefferson. You know,
I'm listening. I'm googling all that while you're talking. Yeah.
Please do.
Yeah. Here you go.
We facts.
Let's go, champ.
But that's the thing, man. You know, and it's like we had mentors, man. We just made our own path and choices. They didn't want us to go the street.
Right.
You know, look at our brother. You know, he could have went the way I went. And that's why I always tell him I'm proud of him and I admire him. Because he was faced with the same things that I was faced with, if not worse. And look, he became 2-time heavyweight champion of the world. Determination.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna open up that.
I'm looking at. I got a couple of celebrities from Brownsville.
Yeah, the Ville is hot, champ. We just gotta, we gotta bring that talent out of there. I think that we're gonna dominate the boxing scene in the next 15 to 20 years. We're gonna dominate every division.
You know, I think too. I mean, in my personal opinion, I think if they had opportunity out there like that now, whether it's Brownsville or even New York, you know what I'm saying? I think that'll help a lot of the youth possibly stop the fighting and stop the all the craziness in the street. Hopefully they could use that as an outlet to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Speaking of Pop Smoke, rest in peace. He just passed. He from Canarsie, which is right down the street from Brownsville. You know what I'm saying? So it's all like right there. And I want to say that if these kids need opportunity, like you said, they need something else other than nothing. Right. You feel me? What is it? We don't even have a high school in Brownsville, I don't think. So we want to give back, opportunity and keep it real with them. You can make money. Yeah. Because the truth of the matter is, people be hurt. It's all good getting them off the street. Yeah, but you got to make money, and you could potentially be like Mike Tyson, be like Riddick Bowe, Zab Judah, Curtis Stevens, Shannon Briggs, Eddie Mustafa. You feel me? You can make a living for yourself, and guess what? If you don't become a boxer, you can become a trainer, a promoter, a manager, a round car keeper. You know what I'm saying? Ring timekeeper. So many different things that you could do aside from fighting. Everybody can't fight, but you might see a business. Even these street dudes, man, a lot of dudes in the streets, they getting money, whatever. They don't know how to clean up their money or do what's right. You know what? learn how to be a manager, learn how to be a promoter, and do the right thing. You feel me?
There's also going to be an entrepreneurship program.
That's what it's
I
about.
see it. Yeah.
You know, for the sisters, for the brothers. You know, it's like the one thing that Shannon just said is most important. Until you could teach somebody how to get it back, the one thing that I stress is that we need to put the guns down, the violence. It's just unnecessary killing. And when you ask them what it's about, they can't even give you an answer. They don't even know why the beef started. It's from generations of what? Because you live in this project, I live in this project, I live on this block. You don't even know why it started. It's like the Hatfield and McCoys. When is it going to stop? Enough is enough.
Yeah,
let's come together.
We breaking the chain. I think especially with, homie dying, young boy, you feel me, 20 years old or something like that. I think it's time people going to start waking up like, yo, this is so senseless, you know what I mean? That's why I call everybody champ, just to elaborate a little bit. I see a change happen in the shift because, I know that I when I see everybody, I'm like, yo, what's up, champ? How you doing? Let's go, champ. And the reason why is because I stopped using the word nigga. You feel me? And specifically that word because I feel like it's holding us back as people. It's normal now to disrespect each other jokingly. Oh, that's my nigga. Nah, I'm not your nigga. I'm not a nigga. I'm black. You feel me? I'm a champ. You feel me? And people, no disrespect, when people talk to me, yo, what's up, nigga? I'm like, chill, champ. I'm not a nigga. And they be like, oh, my bad, champ. You feel me? So once that starts popping, you know what I mean, as far as me setting the conversation, like, yo, look, champ, you know what I mean? No disrespect, like, yo, champ, you know what I mean? And I think it's helping because a lot of people feel better when I call you champ, opposed to calling, yo, what's up, nigga? Nah, what's up, champ? You feel me? I think that starts that with just identifying ourselves as not niggas, as better people, and say, oh, yeah, I'm a real nigga, and I'm doing this. We got to get off of that. We off of that. It's dead. You know what I mean? We doing other things now. We on some positive stuff, trying to, make champions. Like Nuke said, teach them how to make that paper.
But let me ask you a question. So, take us back, when you were younger.
Yes, brother.
Tell us about your childhood, growing up in Brownsville, Brooklyn. What do you remember,
No, I had it made like lemonade. I was chilling. I'm from Atlantic Town. I was up the hill. Yeah, it's nice up there. It was really nice.
Lemonade.
I had it made like lemonade, and I was chilling up there. Mom's was, working nurse. My step pops was in and out, and then my mom's had a substance abuse problem. You know what I mean? But she was always working. She kept a job. She worked at Rikers. She worked in different schools. She was snapping and popping, had money coming in. And then over the years, the drug abuse took its toll. And things got rough for us around 13, 14. My pops actually was on the second episode of America's Most Wanted, my step pops. So that was kind of embarrassing for me, you know what I mean, going to school. And then we got evicted. When I was 13, we got kicked out the towers, and we kind of like was all over the place, all over Brooklyn. I lived in Flatbush. I lived in East Flatbush, Bed-Stuy, East New York. I lived all over Brooklyn. So, that was pretty much a changing point in my life, you know what I mean? Because then I was like, I had to learn how to fend for myself, you know what I mean, in the real world.
Well, we're gonna flip the script. We don't allow things just to go like that. So now let's back up a little bit. So,
let's go, champ.
So, where was your real father? Do you know anything about him?
Yeah. He was. I met him. I remember like the first time I recall seeing him. I was selling watermelons. I used to sell watermelons in Brooklyn. And he had came to the watermelon truck, but he knew. Remember Jules? He owned the watermelon truck. So my real pop.
Bergen or Atlantic? What's one?
The one on Atlantic right there, Hopkinson.
Yeah.
So he had came up and they was talking, and he had came and gave me $100 bill. And I was like, can I help you, sir? He was like, nah, it's for you, put in your pocket. So I'm thinking this must be like some weirdo, something going on. You know what I mean? Because I seen him pull up in a nice car, jewelry on and all that. And I always heard, my real pops or... I had heard stories, but I couldn't really put it together. You know what I mean? And then for some reason, I wound up running upstairs. Like, he said, go get your mom's and your father. He said, I'm your pops. I was like, I'm your father. And I was like, my father upstairs. Now, mind you, my stepfather, black as they get. You know what I mean? But I always felt he was, knew him as my pops, Gene. And then I ran up to the intercom bell, hit the buzzer like that. Mom, come downstairs. Guy saying he's my father. They run downstairs together. and tell me to wait over here by the building. They go by the, over the gate over there by the parking lot, and they talk to him for like 30 minutes, and then they just come back. You know what I mean? And that was it. And then wind up. It's funny because how I really met him was I got locked up when I was like 17, and it was a number I always remembered in my head. 718-735-8283. It was a number that always was told, if something ever happened, you call that number. And I didn't know why. If something ever happened, you call them. So I wound up calling that number. I had nobody to call. I was in, I think, Valhalla or something like that up in Yonkers up there. And I called that number like, yo, break glass. Call this number. I broke the glass. Like, call that number. I was like, how you doing, ma'am? And it was collect calls. So she was like, baby, what's wrong with you? And I was like, oh, this is Shannon. She said, I know who it is. She said, let me call your daddy. So that kind of threw me off, like, you know what I mean? Because I know my real pops my step pops, Gene, was locked up at the time. So he wound up coming to get me, man, and drove me, God bailed me out, took me down to his crib in Flatbush. And that was like, beginning. He was like, where you living at? I was like, I'm everywhere. And then I went and stayed with him for a while. Then I wound up just living all over, man. You know what I mean?
What was he a street dude at the time?
Nah, I was really just,
No, him.
My step pops or my real pops?
Your real pops. He was
he was back in the day. He used to run with a dude, I think, I don't want to say his name, but he used to run with a big dude up there that everybody know they talk about, but I don't want to throw that out there.
Understood.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So he used to run around. He was doing his thing.
In Brooklyn?
Yeah, he was doing it, but it ain't nothing to brag about because a lot of people died from selling drugs, you feel me?
Understood.
So
but you just said your step pops, Gene, he was on America's Most Wanted.
Yeah, he was a gangster. He was on some other stuff. He was physically, and he was a gangster. He was a physical rob you. I won't say rob you, but he was a dude who was he got down like that. You know what I mean? Nothing to brag about as well, but it did teach me not to take no shit. He taught me that.
Really?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And America's Most Wanted, because I'm assuming that he was on the run.
Yes, brother.
Did they end up catching him?
Yes, brother.
Is he alive today?
Nah, he died in prison. He died in Marcy Correctional Facility. Yeah, he died.
You heard of his stepfather? Respect. I'm saying, you guys want to be on peace. You're a peacemaker now. You
chilling, man.
He got the I love my life, so we got to be respectful to his movement. But I ask these type of questions because I'm interested.
Nah, feel free, champ. I'm with you, brother. Let's go, champ.
Yeah, champ. All right, so you substance abuse, mama love.
Yes, brother.
And then you end up, you guys in the street.
Yes, homeless, living here and there. We went to stay with my aunt. Few aunts here and there, cousins, and then when that you kind of wear out your welcome, you got to go. And then as I got older, people kind of let you know that you're not really welcome. So there was times I just kind of like learned to stay out the way. You know what I mean? And then sometimes I had to hit the train or hit a abandoned truck or something like that, get a night's sleep or something. But I would always have people. I would, I'm a mover and shaker, so I would, meet honeys and I find a way. You feel me?
So have you ever spent the night outside?
Oh yeah, plenty of times.
Where?
A train, D train, you name it. Wow. But ain't nothing about it. Ain't like I was a homeless kid. I was, I had to make it. I was homeless, but I had to make it, and I made it. And boxing again was my savior for me because a lot of times I slept in the gym. You know what I mean? I sleep in the gym, and then I started traveling. I was talented. I made the USA team in 5 fights. Almost 10 fights. I made the USA team, and that was unheard of. Like he said, I fought the Cuban. He had like 500 fights. I had 18. I had 18 fights. He had like close to 500, and that was something. That was an experience for me too. Throwing me ABC Wild World of Sports. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't ready, but. I told somebody earlier today, my biggest asset is that I never had a choice. You feel me? That's my biggest asset. I don't have a choice to fail. I don't have a choice to sit down. If I sit down, I'm dead. If I don't make something happen, I'm not gonna eat. Nobody gonna feed me. So now I gotta provide for kids and a wife. So you know what I'm saying?
So how'd you go to do with school and stuff? You went to school still during all this time, or? Well,
that was the good part. I went to Lutheran school for 7 years. Then I went to Catholic high school for a year. So I got a good base of education, and I was never too good at math, but I could read very, very, very well. You know what I'm saying? So gotcha. That helped me with a lot of being able to move and shake in the world. And even today as an entrepreneur, it helps me the fact that I'm You know, you listen to the champ.
Yeah, of course.
So you outside, you in the street.
Yes, brother.
What makes you want to do boxing? Now you run around, you say you know you being slick, you know, like Brooklyn niggas do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The honeys and stuff. But what makes you want to do boxing? Because when you read on it, it said that you saw Mike Tyson and you didn't want to speak to him or some stuff. I don't know. Is there any truth to that?
Nah, it wasn't that I want to speak to him. No, I see Mike. Mike was just known for just being a tough dude, big dude, and all that when I was young. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like Nuke. You know what I'm saying? Exactly, pigeon. Right. But he was
people out.
Yeah, knocking people out. You know what I'm saying?
In the street before he was
boxing. Yeah, knocking all that. So he came up. He grew up with a dude that would literally babysit him. He was Rusty. You know, Money Russ. Yeah, Money Russ from the building. So Money Russ was literally used to babysit my mom's boy. Here, watch my son. You know what I mean? So him and Money Russ was tight. They was best friends. You know what I mean? So. Mike was. I love Mike. I just did Mike podcast, man, about 2 weeks ago, and I gotta tell you, man, it was crazy because we was both in tears on the camera. We was both crying. We was like, yo, this is because again, going back to where we from the Ville. Like, look at my brother. He here 33 years. You know, 31 years he was down. You know what I mean? And again, I tell him, we talk all the time. I'll be like, yo, you motivated me, you know, because he motivated me not to go to jail. It's mad, and I never thought I'd see him again. I really never thought I'd seen him, and I never forgot seeing him. It's like I stamped it in my brain. This is not where you want to be, Shannon. You feel me? This is not where you want to be. So to see him home, when my cousin Eddie Stink said, "Yo, Nuke home," I was like, "What?" We started talking. You feel me? Then I got to see him, and my man Killer Kev too. I ain't seen Kev. Thanks to you guys, I appreciate you, because I ain't seen Kev in 30 years. You know, and that's my dude. That's my dude. I'm from the Ville. He from the Ville. We from the Ville. So when I seen everybody on your show, I started going crazy. Yeah. I was going crazy. Like, wait, chill. I'm ready to get crazy right now. Let's go, champ. Yeah.
So,
it's getting hot.
Yeah. So
let's go, champ. Shoot. Okay.
So let's take the steps again.
Shoot. Let's go, champ.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm ready. You said it now. The cannon's coming out.
So
what's the deal?
No. So
what's the deal?
What was the day?
I'm
ready for you too.
What's the deal?
What was the day?
Kev, come here, champ. Let's go, champ. Oh, I ain't even see the energy. I didn't even know he was here, and I started getting pumped up. Boom, boom.
Oh.
Let's go, champ. Nah, champ. Boom, boom.
What's up, champ?
Man, look at him. Let's go, champ.
You
look
fool.
At him.
You fool. You old
We
plate.
got the Ville on the couch.
What's up, champ?
Yeah.
Old plate.
We got the Ville on the
Yeah,
couch.
y'all know what it is.
We got the Ville on the couch.
G Money.
What's up, baby?
There's a lot of food in here. Boy. What's up?
You guys had your turn. Chill out, man. Let's look at this man, man.
Go ahead.
Let's go, champ. Thank you, champ. Thanks for coming up. It's my brother. I love him, champ.
This is dope.
So when you so bring us to the day that you decided to, because you said, so Mike, when he was younger, he had somebody. So when you say he was knocking people out, like at what age? Like explain that whole, like he was knocking. You see him, like they sent him to, or he just was running the streets, just turning up.
He just was in the streets. He was like, you know, he was homeless. You know what I'm saying? But Mike left like 79. You know what I'm saying? I was born in 71. Mike left early and he came back. He was locked up. He went to the Catskills trying to fight. He would come back and forth to Brownsville, but you know what I'm saying? He really, like I said, there's no gym in Brownsville. Effectively, no gym in Brownsville. So that's the goal. But Mike was just Mike, man. And then he became heavyweight champion of the world, and the whole world got to see him. And all the people from Brownsville was like, yo, that's one of us. So it gave us an opportunity to have something, a goal. Mike is and was an inspiration to us, you know what I mean, to millions. But if you from the Ville, and you know, we was always like the dirty, you know, like they don't mess with us. Everybody in Brownsville, you know what I mean? But we the dirtiest. But Mike was like, you know what I mean? He made it. He driving Rolls Royces and stuff.
Oh, real quick, were you fighting back in the days too, or during the time when you was going through the transition? Were you fighting in Brownsville, just in the streets and?
Nah, G wasn't, because they said on Wikipedia, he wasn't fighting, man. He got, it changed his life. He didn't want to go approach Mike Tyson. You know what I'm talking about. That's what it said. Where that story came from. That
Wikipedia,
sometimes
anybody can put anything
be a little
up there.
tricky. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nah, Mike, my man. I love Mike, but like I said, I had a good base, and then everything, the bottom fell out. So when that happened, I became angry and bitter because living in the towers ain't like just living anywhere. People in the towers, working class people, you know what I'm saying, apartment, jobs, you know what I'm saying, cars. People was doing all right. And then the 80s hit, you know what I'm saying, the building kind of went down, and I was part of the going down, you know what I'm saying. We got evicted, and I was out there. And then at that point, I became angry and bitter. My pops locked up. My mom's on drugs. My mom's was doing bad, looking bad. People would tell me, yo, I seen your mom's, begging for money. And, I didn't come from that. So that was hurtful for me. I got a lot of pride, and a lot of emotions was running with that. You seeing your mom, you hearing people, girls laughing, people laughing. And that was a big, what do you call it? I don't want to say humiliation, but it's the fact that when you have to say, I said to myself early in life, I said, you know what, you got to make it. Because I can't take this. Being laughed at, going to people's house, and
you ain't push them in their face. What's wrong with you, man?
Everybody got their opinion and laugh. But I go to somebody's crib. I go to your crib, and I might be chilling with you, Flip. You my man. And your moms might be like, yo, Shannon been here a day or two. Yo, tell him to get off my couch. You got to bounce. You might come and be like, yo, champ, Shannon, your mom said you got to bounce or whatever. So you got to walk that walk. 12 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock in the morning. And I remember I was walking like in Flatbush one night. I had nowhere to go. And I forgot the school, PS something. And they were building like some type of construction thing next to the school. And I was like, yo, that's a good spot for me just to sit for a couple hours. You know what I mean? I ain't got nowhere to go. And I remember sitting out there and remembering living in Atlantic Towers. We had a pool back there. Remember the pool? Yeah. We had a big swimming pool. All my friends every Christmas. It was 24 stories in the building, 24 floors. You go to your friend's house, spend the night. They got toys. Now I'm sitting outside of a school, just sitting there like remembering all that. So I think that was a big inspiration for me to be like, yo, you gotta get it.
So before I get into who, when you started training, at the time, like who? Because earlier you mentioned it. You and Nuke was talking about it. So you had Riddick Bowe.
Yes, brother.
I also looked at the guy. You said guy you mentioned. They say he's a trainer now.
Eddie Mustafa Muhammad.
Yes.
Yes.
So, who would be the first person in Brownsville to go to boxing? Was it Eddie?
Yes, brother. Yes, he was. Eddie that I know of. I mean, there was a guy named Bumby Davis.
Yeah, there was the old man Bob, which was the Golden Glove champ. Then you got Blimp.
Yeah.
Happy and them. They boxed out of Howard Hauser when Howard Hauser had the gym. You remember?
Right.
And then they closed down. Everybody went to Starlight City.
Yep. Facts. Yeah. That's why I went to Starlight City.
Starlight City. So
yeah.
And who trained you at the time?
Jimmy O. Fowler, rest in peace. The legend, the great Jimmy O. That's where I know him from. You know what I mean?
Fact. That's my boy right there. That's where we Starlight.
Starlight City. We put it down.
You was training over there too, KK?
Yes, right.
We put it down.
I started at PAL, right? With
Me too.
Depp
yep.
and Ray.
Facts.
One-Eyed Joe.
Yep.
And One-Eyed Joe.
One-Eyed
Joe was right in the dungeon. Then right in the basement. Yeah, then when I started getting more advanced, then they put me in Starlight. That's where I met Vito at.
Me too.
That's a fact. Vito and Fermo.
Me too, yeah.
Goodfellas, Godfather 3, the middleweight champ, And
what you mean you met him? What you mean?
He took me under the wing.
Yeah.
They took me under the wing. Took me under the wing, man. I was in another world. Mob ties, that's a fact.
So he was really part of the mob or something?
Yeah, he was really the...
Nah, that for real.
Gambinos.
I thought it was just a movie.
Nah, he played in those movies. He played in Godfather 3.
I know, but he was in real life. He was a part of it too.
Yeah,